Donald Trump just posted what may be the most dangerous lie yet in his catastrophic war with Iran. And folks, if you thought we'd hit rock bottom with this regime's dishonesty, think again. Trump claimed on his failing social media platform, Truth Social, that U.S. Navy destroyers came under fire near the Strait of Hormuz, that they successfully defended themselves, and that Iran will face severe consequences for this act of aggression. Now, here's the problem. According to multiple sources in the Pentagon, according to U.S. Central Command, according to naval personnel with knowledge of operations in the region, this attack either didn't happen at all or it happened very differently than Trump is claiming. And the fact that the President of the United States is lying about military engagements, potentially fabricating attacks to justify escalation of an already catastrophic war, this is how we end up in World War III, folks. This is how democracies die and authoritarians consolidate power through manufactured crises. Let me read you exactly what Trump posted because the language here is important and it reveals everything about what he's trying to do. He posted about 6 hours ago on Truth Social, and yes, we monitor that cesspool so you don't have to. He said, quote, Iranian military forces attacked 2 U.S. Navy destroyers operating in international waters near the Strait of Hormuz. Our brave sailors successfully defended their ships and returned fire. No American casualties. Iran has made a huge mistake and will face consequences like they've never seen before. Our military is the greatest in the world, and we will always protect our people. More details coming soon. More details coming soon? Donald, it's been 6 hours. Where are the details? Where's the footage? Where's the damage assessment? Where are the statements from Central Command, from the Pentagon, from the commanders of those destroyers? Because here's what we've been able to confirm in the hours since Trump posted this. U.S. Central Command has said absolutely nothing. The Pentagon has released no statement. The Navy has provided no details. And multiple defense officials speaking to CNN, to NBC News, to the New York Times on background have said they have no information confirming Trump's account of what happened. Now, let's be very clear about what that means. Either Trump is completely making this up, fabricating an attack that didn't happen, or something did happen, but it was minor enough, ambiguous enough, or went badly enough for U.S. forces that the Pentagon doesn't want to confirm Trump's version of events. Neither scenario is good, folks. Both scenarios are absolutely terrifying for different reasons. We've reached out to multiple sources, and yes, we have sources in the Pentagon, in Central Command, in the Navy, because we actually do journalism here. And what we're hearing is that there may have been some kind of incident involving Iranian fast attack boats approaching U.S. destroyers, possibly some warning shots fired, but nothing like the attack that Trump is describing. One source told us, and I'm quoting here, this sounds like Trump turning a routine harassment incident into a major attack to change the narrative and justify further escalation. Think about that for a second. The President of the United States might be taking a minor incident, the kind of thing that happens regularly in contested waters, and inflating it into a major attack to justify escalating a war that's already spiraling out of control. And why would he do that? Well, let's look at the context. This post comes just days after we reported, and this has been confirmed by multiple outlets, that Trump's war with Iran is going catastrophically badly. We've had aircraft shot down. We have a pilot still missing in Iranian territory. We've had helicopters damaged. Iran still controls the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices are at record highs. The American public is turning against the war. Trump's approval ratings are in the toilet. So what does an authoritarian do when his war is failing? He manufactures a new crisis. He invents or exaggerates an attack. He rallies people around the flag. He justifies escalation. It's the oldest trick in the authoritarian playbook, folks. Create a crisis to distract from your failures and consolidate power. And we've seen Trump do this before. Remember when he claimed that Iran attacked U.S. troops in Iraq and it turned out to be massively exaggerated? Remember when he claimed we had 100% air superiority over Iran and then multiple aircraft got shot down? Remember the endless lies about the war going perfectly, about Iran being decimated, about American forces being unstoppable? Every single one of those claims was either a complete lie or a massive exaggeration. So why should we believe this claim about destroyers under attack when there's no corroborating evidence, no official statements, nothing but Trump's post on social media? Now, here's what makes this even more suspicious: the timing and the specific language. Trump posted this during prime time on the East Coast. He used all caps for emphasis, successfully defended, no American casualties, huge mistake. This reads like propaganda, like messaging designed to create a specific narrative regardless of what actually happened. And notice what he didn't include: the names of the destroyers, the time of the attack, the number of Iranian vessels involved, the nature of the weapons used, casualty figures on the Iranian side if U.S. forces returned fire. Nothing. Just vague claims about an attack and promises of retaliation. Compare that to how the Pentagon typically announces military incidents. They provide specific details. They name the units involved. They describe the timeline. They provide evidence. Trump gave us none of that. Just assertions and threats. Multiple military analysts and former Pentagon officials have been weighing in on this since Trump's post, and the consensus is somewhere between skepticism and alarm. Retired Admiral James Stavridis, former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, tweeted, "If U.S. destroyers came under attack in the Strait of Hormuz, we would expect immediate, detailed statements from CENTCOM and DoD." The silence is deafening and concerning. Bradley Bowman, Senior Director of the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, and he's generally been pretty hawkish on Iran, folks, so this isn't some peacenik critic. Even he told CNN, "The lack of official corroboration for the president's claims raises serious questions about what actually occurred and whether the incident is being accurately characterized." Translation: even Iran hawks who generally support a tough stance are saying Trump might be lying about this. Now let's talk about what Iran is saying, because as we've been reporting throughout this catastrophic war, Iranian sources have often been more reliable about what's actually happening than the Trump regime. And that's a stunning indictment of how dishonest this administration is, that we're having to cross-reference their claims with statements from the adversary to figure out what's actually true. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps released a statement about 3 hours after Trump's post, and they're telling a very different story. They say that Iranian naval forces conducted routine operations in Iranian territorial waters near the Strait of Hormuz, that U.S. destroyers were operating provocatively close to Iranian waters, and that Iranian vessels issued warnings but did not engage in any attack. The IRGC statement said, quote, "The desperate Trump regime continues to fabricate incidents to justify its illegal war of aggression. Iranian forces maintained defensive positions and issued appropriate warnings to U.S. vessels that were threatening freedom of navigation in the strait. No attacks were conducted." The U.S. is lying, as usual. Now, we can't independently verify Iran's version either. But here's what's striking. Iran's account is more detailed than Trump's. They're providing specifics about what their forces were doing, where they were positioned, what warnings were issued. Trump just gave us vague claims about an attack with no details. And here's the other thing. If Iran had actually attacked U.S. destroyers, don't you think they'd be bragging about it? Throughout this war, when Iran has shot down U.S. aircraft, they've immediately claimed credit. They've posted photos, videos, even done Lego animations mocking Trump's losses. They haven't been shy about their successes. So if they actually attacked destroyers, why would they deny it? It doesn't make strategic sense. What makes more sense is that there was some kind of minor incident that Trump is now inflating into a major attack to justify whatever escalation he's planning next. Multiple Iranian social media accounts, and yes, we monitor these because we actually do comprehensive reporting, have been posting mocking responses to Trump's claims. One account posted a side-by-side comparison of Trump's claims about various incidents versus what actually happened, with the caption, "The boy who cried wolf has nothing on the orange man who cried attack." Another account posted footage, and we can't independently verify this is from today, but the metadata suggests it's recent, of Iranian patrol boats conducting what look like routine operations in the strait. The caption says, "Routine Iranian naval operations chart attack in Trump's delusional mind." Look, Iranian propaganda should be taken with a grain of salt. But the fact that they're mocking Trump's claims rather than celebrating an attack on U.S. destroyers, that tells you something. Now let's talk about the strategic implications here, because this is where things get really dangerous. If Trump is lying about or exaggerating this incident, what's his endgame? We can speculate based on what we've been reporting about his discussions with his national security team. We reported days ago that Trump has been considering a naval blockade of Iran, a move that would be an act of war under international law and that Pentagon officials have warned against. We reported that Trump is frustrated that the war isn't going as he promised, that he's looking for some dramatic action to look strong. So is this fabricated or exaggerated attack the pretext for that escalation? Is Trump creating the justification he needs to implement a blockade, to launch strikes on the Iranian mainland, to do something even more catastrophic? That's the concern that multiple congressional Democrats are raising right now. Representative Adam Schiff tweeted, "The president's claims about an attack on U.S. destroyers require immediate verification. Congress must receive a full briefing. We cannot allow manufactured incidents to drag us into wider war." Senator Tim Kaine, who's been one of the few members of Congress consistently demanding accountability on Trump's Iran war, released a statement saying, "If U.S. forces came under attack, the American people deserve full transparency about what happened." But the lack of any official confirmation of the president's claims is deeply troubling. This administration has lied repeatedly about this war, and we need to see evidence before accepting claims that could be used to justify further escalation. And they're absolutely right. We need evidence. We need official statements. We need transparency. And we're not getting any of that. We're just getting Trump's social media posts and his promises of retaliation. Now, where are the Republicans on this? Where are the supposed constitutionalists who believe in congressional oversight of military action? Where are the fiscal conservatives who should be asking about the costs of this war? Where are the libertarians who are supposed to be skeptical of military adventurism? Silent. Absolutely silent. Or worse, they're amplifying Trump's claims without question. Senator Lindsey Graham went on state regime media, which calls itself Fox News, and said, "I'm not making this up. Iran attacked our destroyers, and they need to pay a heavy price. I fully support whatever response the president deems appropriate, whatever response Trump deems appropriate." Lindsey, you don't even know if the attack actually happened. You're just giving blank check support based on an unverified social media post. This is how we end up in catastrophic wars based on lies, folks. This is the Iraq War all over again, except potentially even worse because we're talking about a much more capable adversary in a much more strategically important region. And the parallels to Iraq are striking. Remember the intelligence about weapons of mass destruction that turned out to be fabricated or exaggerated? Remember how the Bush administration sold the war based on claims that couldn't be verified? Remember how the media largely went along with it? How Democrats in Congress voted to authorize force based on lies? We cannot let that happen again. We cannot accept Trump's claims at face value. We cannot allow manufactured or exaggerated incidents to justify escalation of a war that's already catastrophic and that Congress never authorized in the first place. Now, we're going to continue following this story minute by minute. We're going to keep pressing our sources for information. We're going to keep demanding transparency, and we're going to keep calling out the lies. Because that's what this is, folks. Even if there was some kind of minor incident, Trump is clearly exaggerating it, inflating it, weaponizing it to justify escalation and to change the narrative from his failures to this new crisis. And we cannot let him get away with it. Folks, we can only continue doing this critical accountability journalism with your support. Hit that subscribe button right now. We're pushing towards 7 million subscribers, and every subscription helps us keep doing this work. You may think you're already subscribed. Check right now. Make sure that button is clicked and that notification bell is on so you don't miss any updates as this dangerous situation unfolds. Share this video everywhere. People need to know that Trump's claims about this attack are unverified, that the Pentagon isn't confirming his account, that this could be a manufactured pretext for escalation. And if you can, please consider becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel. Your support allows us to keep doing independent journalism that questions official narratives, that demands evidence, that refuses to be a propaganda outlet for any administration. You'll get ad-free videos, exclusive content, and the knowledge that you're supporting the kind of journalism that might help prevent us from stumbling into World War III based on lies. This is a critical moment, folks. An unverified claim about an attack on U.S. destroyers. No official confirmation. A president with a track record of lying about military incidents. A pattern of manufacturing or exaggerating crises to distract from failures and justify escalation. We've seen this movie before. We know how it ends, and we cannot let it happen again. Demand evidence. Demand transparency. Demand accountability. Contact your representatives and demand they not authorize any escalation based on unverified claims. Demand a full briefing about what actually happened. This is how we prevent catastrophic wars based on lies. This is how we hold power accountable. This is how we defend truth and democracy. Stay vigilant, folks. Stay skeptical. and demand the truth. Thanks for watching.